Okay, guys, so we're going to jump into the FAQ section here, part 2 of chapter 9, stock scanning with trade ideas. All right, so I want to make sure I get your questions answered. So I'm going to start looking at them here, and I'll bring this up into the screen share so you guys can see. I use Trade Ideas Standard. Yes, that's correct, Sheldon. Yeah, Trade Ideas Standard. Here are my questions. Number one, do I need to get eSignal when I have Thinkorswim platform? No. Thinkorswim is good for charting. Is it worth it to have eSignal on top of Thinkorswim? No, it's not. eSignal is, Thinkorswim is perfectly good. Can I use your Trade Ideas layout settings in eTrade Pro platform since they're using the Trade Ideas scanners as well? Sort of. Some of them you can, but you have to manually pull them apart because eTrade Pro doesn't allow multi-strategy windows. So you could only put in a single strategy for each window, which means that's okay for the low float scanner or for the reversal scanner, but it would be difficult to, because I mean, that has 8 scanners built in. So if you were really going to create a separate scanner for each one of the strategies, you'd have like 30 scanners running. So I would recommend using Trade Ideas. And I took 7,000 shares of CYCC to start. The scanner is downloadable as part of chapter 9. And yeah, let's see, let me go back into Trade Ideas here. They do have pre-built scanners, which are not bad. You can go to the channel bar right here under Tools, I think it was, and then you can actually choose the type of things that you're looking for. So, I mean, this is like energy, ETF focused, after hours, Barry's window. You know, it's like they've got so many, different types of scanners, surge, etc. So let's see, surge it's all down here on another monitor, but it's showing you stocks basically, I guess, surging up. So um, they're not a bad starting point if you're looking for a particular type of scanner and you just kind of need, that place to get started. I meant that TC2000 is great for charting. It's cheaper than eSignal, but it's not really as good for scanning. That's the thing that it doesn't have the same scanners and you can't backtest them. Let's see. Jackie, if you email us, I think they can add it. They just have to restart the server. If you want to use eTrade Pro, that's fine. I would just encourage you to use the Excel doc for tracking your trades and then import your trades to TraderView directly from eTrade Pro. And then you could request me as your mentor so I can look at your stats. Yes, hotkeys are coming class 10. Right, Samurai, exactly. TC2000 is a great alternative to eSignal. So Mark, the classes are released right now at the rate of 2 classes a week, although we might change that because each class is like 3+ hours. So we might slow down the release of classes because of this new course. But for right now, it's 2 classes a week. And Rachel, the Warrior Pro sessions and the chat room are kind of the forum that we created for students. We haven't created like a forum, the traditional type. Mostly, maybe it would be popular. I don't know. People like to get an answer right away though, and you certainly can in the chat room. So, Ivan, yeah, the trade ideas versus eTrade Pro. I mean, they're the same scanners, except that you can't create multi-filtered windows, and that's kind of for me almost a deal breaker because I want to be able to put all of the scanners into, one scanning window. Yeah, you can download the scanner settings and set them up whenever you want. Just keep them on your hard drive. Quick chat access? No, there's no app. It's just, well, it's just a web browser, so you can just load it in the browser. Yes, that's true, John. Thinkorswim does have scanning, but there is a bit of a learning curve with figuring out how to build it. Yeah, Trade Ideas does 7-day test drives fairly often, where you can test them out 7 days for $7, that type of thing, or $9. Let's see. Yeah, in Trade Ideas, I use the 9 EMA or the 8 SMA simply because the 9 EMA doesn't exist. Um, they're not the same, but they don't have 9 EMAs. So I'm kind of using the closest thing to it. And it's not really an exact science. I'm just kind of saying, well, I want the stock above this level of the 8 SMA, and I kind of hope it's close, but it's not perfect. There is a way that you can create custom filters, but not for exponential moving averages. Yeah, if you see a shooting star, it's usually an exit indicator. So this right here is a topping tail, or this one's just a doji, but a shooting star would have a body right here. So it would have a body at the bottom, and it would be just a tiny little square. And that kind of looks like that shooting star with the tall upper wick. So this is the star, and this is that trail behind a star. Whoops, I meant to do a trend line. So that would be the trail behind the star. So that's kind of the reversal indicator. FinViz is not bad. I think Jeff uses it a little bit. I don't use it for day trading. I think it's used more for scanning daily chart patterns, and so it's used more for swing trading. Yeah, Willie, because the scanners that are part of the annual subscription are just, I think we only include 2 scanners, and I'm for use all the students in the Warrior Pro, I'm including all my scanners, so it's the full package. You could do a screenshot, but that's kind of the only way right now would be to take a screenshot and then print out that screenshot. I would suggest, Tonya, starting with probably TC2000 because it's cheaper. It's like $100 a month cheaper. So I would set up with TC2000 and then upgrade to eSignal down the road if you want to. But you could get set up with them as early as you want. And Augustus, I'm using TI standard, Trade Idea standard. Next class, class 10, is level 2. Cheryl, class 1, I talk about the computer equipment. And then in class, I can't remember which class it is, but one of the classes coming up will do platform demos where you can see all of the different software that I use, and I kind of walk you through it. And I don't use the 15-second candle during the day. I only use it when I'm looking back on things to show you guys kind of what I was seeing, like right in the moment. Samson, your entry at 720 wasn't bad because it was a 1-minute pullback. And so I got in there as well. I added at 720 thinking we would, break out and go higher, but obviously we got a false pullback or a false breakout. So if I go back to this, you can see right here, the first 1-minute pullback is usually safer, but this was the second one, which seemed okay because the stock was strong and had a great daily chart. So entry, first candle to make a new high, was actually right over 715. So you got in a little high, but I actually got filled at 19. I got slippage too. High a day was 24. We popped up to a high of 27 and then rolled over hard. As soon as we came back down to break even, I sold. You know, if I go from being green to being red, I get out. And I actually started selling as soon as I noticed resistance on the level 2. David, I don't think they have a halt indicator. So I think the best way to know about halts would be just being in the chat room. And yeah, AJ, we do have a demo of eSignal coming up. And I'll do one for TC2000 as well. Mario, that was class 6. It was part 1, part 2, and part 3. We did it into 3 parts, or divided it into 3 parts. Yeah, and if you go to NASDAQtrader.com, you can see current trading halts, but I don't think it would really make sense to like be on that page refreshing it every 3 minutes. Cheryl, you can enlarge by clicking on this button here to go full screen, and then this would go full screen. I'm on small preview, but if I clicked full and then full, it would be full screen. So I'll back out of that and click small preview. If I do small preview, it just is less lag. Oh, right. Yeah, that's true. You could do, let's see. I mean, if you do this way and then this way, or drag it across multiple monitors, that would work as well. Like right now, I'm dragging it across 2 monitors, so I'll put the division right kind of in the middle, right here. But yeah, I know what you mean. So Rachel, if the 1 minute and 5 minute show different strategy, is it a strong indicator for a buy or a sell if both charts show the same direction? Yes, absolutely. So I love patterns, and that's why the 1 minute reversal is so great, because it's showing us not just 8 consecutive 1 minute candles, it's also showing us 4 consecutive 5 minute candles. So it's showing us 1 minute and 5 minute confirmation at the same time. When you have that in the context of, you know, a flat top breakout forming on the 5 minute with a bull flag on the 1 minute, or an ABC pattern on the 1 minute, those are 2 strong patterns. Multiple time frame alignment is definitely something we like to see. That's actually interesting, Larry. You could email the team. I'm not sure why it's giving you the class on your iPhone, but not on the desktop. That's kind of strange. Maybe clear cache. I don't remember if I have a particular scale. I have it set, I guess, to auto scale. And I'm pretty sure if I zoom this in, it's going to keep that scaling. It's going to remember that that was my scale, which is nice. So I don't know if there's a setting for that. Edit scale. Let's see, auto scale, auto scale. That's about it. I like Arca, EdgeX, and Post. Those 3 I like. And Rachel, if you have a really good 5 minute setup, then the 1 minute, I mean, you'll usually have enough buyers on the 5 minute chart that the breakout will happen. So like this one, for instance, FSLR right here, the first 5 minute candle to make a new high, right? That ended up getting bought up and squeezing higher. That was at like 10:25 this morning. So if I go back here to 10:25 this morning, or it was later, it was right here. The 1 minute doesn't really look that great. It kind of popped up, dropped down, popped back up, but the 5 minute was strong, and so the 5 minute kind of leads the way. So that's why I usually would say between the 2, 5 minutes more important. If you have multiple time frames lining up, that's even better. But if you don't have a 5 minute, you probably shouldn't take the trade. You at least need a 5 minute setup. No, you do need to still have eSignal. You can go here to a new, yeah, you need to have trade ideas. Where is it? I can't remember, but yes, you can add it in here, but it's kind of like the way it is uh, on eTrade. It's not exactly the same. So, it does API, it does connect in here, but it's just not the same. So I would use the desktop version, especially since you're paying for it either way. Multiple time frame for a false breakout. I mean, false breakouts can happen for any number of reasons. So even if you have multiple time frame alignment, you can still get a false breakout. So it doesn't ensure that you won't have that happen. Um, that's kind of um, the frustrating thing about trading. You can have everything that looks good and it still goes the wrong way, which is why you have to remember not to be stubborn, just to take the losses. Um, that's why I'm right 70% of the time. I mean, I think I'm going to be right on every trade. I don't take a trade expecting to be wrong, but even the ones that I think are going to work sometimes don't. And so it's just the way it is. So, Carlos, we're going to talk about that a little bit more in class 10, or quite a bit more in class 10 in a lot more detail when we're looking at level 2. Being able to see those big buyers, the big sellers, that can help. That can help you read the timing of a trade, when to get in, when to get out. And so that's coming soon. But it is something that is important, but you'll get better at with practice. So the more you're watching the level 2 and the time and sales and listening to me talk through the trades I take and watching the live trading examples that are in the classes and being uploaded, even later on, those will continue to help you. Sorry, I missed your question. Do you use hotkeys for selling at the ask after the entry? Yes, and let me just check that spreadsheet because I thought that those were on there. Oh, you know what? No, that's not it. Let's see, slash, how to day trade. So let's see, scroll down. I know it's at the bottom of this page that I have a link to the hotkeys that I was using. So hotkey scripts 2017. I'll just copy this link for you guys. By the time some of you are watching this, it's possible the link will be changed if I had to make a change and uploaded a new version. I think, Rachel, the more you watch the false breakouts and the level 2, the better you'll get at exiting fast, so the loss will be small. And yeah, you can see right here, selling on the ask. That's actually selling on the ask. This is for covering a short position. You've got these profit target orders right here, which is to sell above the ask. I'm really surprised I don't have those on here, but you're right. It appears they're not. So let's see. Profit target, selling on the ask. So let's see. We would say this one is covering a short, and I'm going to insert rows above, copy, paste. Okay, so selling on the ask, selling long position into strength. Okay, so these hotkeys would be route equals limit, price equals ask, no offset. Position equals 1, that position equals the whole thing. This would be control plus L, no, sorry, control plus K is sell full position on the ask. And then I'll just copy, paste. This one is going to be quarter, and this one will be half. Okay, so these orders are control plus L and control plus semicolon. Oops. Then I'm going to go over here and just say paste and paste. And so this one is position times 50% of your size, and this one is position times 25, and these are sell orders. Sell equals send. Sell equals send, and sell equals send. All right, so I'll update those, but that's to sell on the ask into strength. So sorry about that. You're right. Those should have been added. Well, I'll save this and stuff later. Yeah, thank you. I'll change that to a decimal on 0.25. 0.25. All right, so I'll get that uploaded, and you guys will be able to download the new version. But in any case, I'm going to share my hotkey files with you guys in class 10. So the class tomorrow, or for those of you who are watching, who will be live tomorrow, will see it, and the recording will be coming up in the next day or two. So yeah, I'll give you my hotkey file that you can directly install into DAS Trader. So that's Short Trader, Speed Trader, and Interactive Brokers. So Scott, it's always half of your current position, so or quarter of your current position. So it's not the original size; it's what's currently remaining. So yeah, it's always kind of scaling down there, which is why I kind of like using the half key. I can keep selling halves and halves and halves and halves until I'm down to like such a small position that it makes sense just to bail on the rest. These hotkeys are for DAS Trader only in terms of the scripts that I'm going to give you, but you can build these same hotkeys with a lot of platforms. You can build them in TradeZero, you can build them in Lightspeed. I'll show you how to build them in Lightspeed. So they're pretty, they're pretty straightforward. They're pretty easy to build. You just understand the logic. This is what I want to achieve, and the different platforms have slightly different language and slightly different, hotkey managers, but most of them that have hotkeys have those functionalities or those abilities. Let's see. No, Lightspeed uses their own platform. So that's a good reason why most traders would not use battery-powered keyboards or mice, because sometimes you get key locks where if the battery's dying, it just locks down on the key. And imagine if it's dying and it locks down on your buy hotkey and just sends that order 100 times. You're going to max out your buying power and suddenly, be holding a massive position. So you do have to be really mindful of that. So I wouldn't use a battery powered, I would use hardwired if you're going to use external mouse or keyboard. There are limits to the rebate program, and you can check to see what those are over on the website. And I'm actually going to make a note to add the links for all the rebate programs, maybe inside class 1, so you guys can check them there, add rebate program links of the currently active programs. TC2000, yep, you can use them for live charts. Yeah, for sure. You know, yeah, I used a wireless one for a long time that was like, you know, battery powered, and I didn't know about it. And then I heard people say, you know, this was a real issue. So then I was like, all right, well, guess I'll stop using that. Gaming keyboards are not faster than regular keyboards. They just have more keys. Some of them have more keys, so they have more functions. So you could add more hotkeys and stuff like that, but um, you know, that's the only advantage. I know some of the gaming keyboards have like controllers, and you can use all the buttons on the controllers as your hotkey buttons. One of the students in here is using a PlayStation remote for his hotkeys, which is fine, but you know, there's a lot of different options like that. Fantasy Stock Traders doesn't have every ticker. There are some that are not included, like OTC and pink sheet stocks. Sometimes when a company changes its stock symbol, the new symbol won't be updated until we like refresh the server and stuff like that. So there's a couple variables where we'll see stocks that aren't on the simulator, but most of them are on there. And if it's not on there, you can just email us and we'll add it. Let's see. Any other questions that you guys have? Yeah, I recommend that. I have my broker's phone number on my computer also, just taped there. Yeah, absolutely, Rachel. Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, kind of what we've talked about right along. You know, the under 10 former runners, you know, stocks that have lots of volume today. That's exactly what we want to look for. Well, I mean, if you're working literally from 9 to 9:30 and 10, you know, during the time when we trade the gappers, then the best way to do it is just to practice in the simulator, like the one that Thinkorswim offers, where you can practice trading on a replay of the day. So even though you missed the actual day, you can go and you know, you can watch the replay and trade it as if it's happening in real time. So that'll help you train. And then, you know, once you've trained, you can decide, okay, well, now I'm at a point where I'm consistent in the simulator. Maybe now I'm going to start to think about, you know, taking a couple days off or switching my work schedule or something like that. Uninterrupted power supplies, I think, are great. I had one, and I guess I overloaded it because it started to melt, but it didn't turn off. So since that one broke, I haven't replaced it with a new one. Um, but they are a great idea because if you lose power for a second, you won't lose power on important things like your modem and, you know, your router, your wireless router, and maybe your desktop computer. So you can keep those online for until power, you know, comes back up. I share my computer config in class 1. Yeah, uninterrupted power supplies are great. Yeah, but it wasn't. It was that the actual. It was like it was melting. It was. It was like there was a problem with it. It was like gonna catch on fire. So I don't know. Something I might have been overloading it. And it wasn't shutting itself off or flipping a circuit. I don't know what the deal was, but um, yeah, that was a little scary. But I'm sure if you got it, I just got one that was like $30 at um, Staples or something. So eSignal doesn't do coupon code discounts, but if you call them, they will they will usually set you up with a discount. It's like a promo that they do. Um, all right, guys. So I think what we'll do here is call it a class, call it an evening, and we'll jump back in tomorrow. Of course, 9 a.m. pre-market analysis, trading the bell at 9:30, trading during the day, and then 4 p.m. we'll jump in with class 10. So make sure you guys remember to do your homework and participate in the chat room over the next few days for those of you who are watching the recording and have a couple days before class 10. Yeah, if you have questions, then feel free to ask in the Warrior Pro session. But yeah, tomorrow is level 2 and hotkeys, so that'll be an exciting class to jump into. All right, guys. So with that, I will see you all first thing tomorrow morning. All right. Thanks, guys.